I am really super proud of New England Championship Wrestling, the Lost Matches project, because after going through 20 years of footage, these are the matches that for one reason or another, we never put them online, we never released them on video, or they used to be online and they're no longer online and haven't been for over 10 years. And if this is the stuff that isn't online, it just shows the depth and the quality of New England Championship Wrestling over a 20-year period. It really tells the story of the company in an interesting and a compelling way through matches that are unreleased or unavailable on YouTube. It was the golden age of independent wrestling, not just in New England, but all over the country. New England Championship Wrestling was one of the leading ones.
Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of Reach Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, Two Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. Two Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, two lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
There was peace unknown. I set out to get you with a fine-tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me? 'Cause I just wanna...
Get ready! Woo! We are on tour and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor.
Every bar's holy, straight divinity. Great stability with ancient wizardry. God goes writing on the page after I prayed, he visits me. My frame is spiritually plateauing when angels lifted me.
Broadcasting live from the city of Flight. And it's only right that I introduce my guest tonight. My bro, Flamborghini. What's going on, brother?
Man, I can't call it, man. I can't complain. Ain't gonna do me no good. We about to cover some things. We about to get into the album. We about to talk wrestling. My little one with me because she the encyclopedia for the new generation of wrestling. So I can't wait. We'll be doing.
That's what's up, man. That's what it do, man. First of all, I know you said you know a little bit about wrestling, right? So
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I know a lot for real. It's just I don't know the new guys.
Yeah. So if what's your favorite era then? Like if you want to talk about like as far as like back in the day.
I'm from the era like when WCW was NWA.
Yep.
So like my mom's favorite wrestler was Nikita Koloff.
Yo, that's crazy. I love Nikita Koloff, bro.
My mom's favorite wrestler was Nikita Koloff. Mine was Sting. I liked Sting. I like Lex Luger. I liked Razor Ramon, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, like that early 90s, late 80s type era. And then transition to like the DX and the NWO and the Goldberg and that type era. I kind of stopped after that.
Mm-hmm.
Around the Stone Cold, Hunter Hearst Helmsley era, like that's right when I checked out.
So the Attitude Era, you checked out.
Yeah, I was in it for the Attitude Era, but right when it transitioned, I even watched a little bit of ECW. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a wrestling head, like WCW, WWF, ECW. I was watching all that shit. You feel me? So, like teenage years, it got a little, I'm transitioning. I'm not really liking things I liked when I was a preteen. I got more into real, like basketball, football, things like that. I even started watching like Tiger Woods on the golf side.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Santa Claus. Once you wake up and realize it ain't real, it just don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you're not the only one that said that though, because like the Attitude Era was like my favorite era to watch, but like when it went to the Ruthless Aggression era, it was kind of like I kind of lost a little interest.
I'm too smart to be fooled by this stuff.
Now, back in the day, you said NWA.
Yeah.
My favorite tag team was the Midnight Express. I don't know if you remember them.
Them and the Road Warriors used to go at it all the time.
Yeah. The Midnight Express was they was like my favorite. Sweet Stan Lane and Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Rockers?
Oh, the Rockers was Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
They was fire too.
Legion of Doom. I mean, not Legion of Doom. Doom.
Road Warriors, yeah. Or Doom.
Yeah.
Doom.
WWF.
Doom. You talking about Ron Simmons and Butch Reed.
And Demolition.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Hey, you know what? Said it's the one. Like, the tag teams back then is way better than they are now, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was a fan of Mr. Perfect, too.
Ooh, Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig, man.
Yes.
That was
Kurt
my
Hennig
guy.
was the truth. Yeah.
Kurt
When
Hennig.
he came on the scene, yep. He had that little promo when he came to WWE where he did everything perfect.
Yeah.
I wonder how many takes it took him to do that.
You know, he was shooting baskets. You know, he was doing all that. Kurt Hennig.
The gum swat.
Bro, I still try to do that today, and I miss it.
That was
Every time. I can't never get it, bro.
Wrestling. I feel like wrestling and music and hip hop, man. I feel like a lot of the arrogance and the cockiness came from wrestling. Like the showmanship and just the bravado of just how you pop it, it comes from wrestling for real. So it's like,
well, you can thank you can thank Cyndi Lauper and WWE for that, because when they brought in the women's wrestling on that Saturday night's main event with Lou Albano and Cyndi Lauper, that's when they crossed those music lines of wrestling and music, and it just blew up. They realized, oh my God, we got something here. And Cyndi Lauper was just, that was just pop music. But then as the sport evolved, I mean, you look at the promos, they've got promos for WrestleMania and stuff and SummerSlam already, and they're already promoting Cardi B and stuff is already, doing music.
It's totally different now, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally different now, bro. They using different type of they making them look like a movie. Like, it's entertainment, but they using like directors. It's crazy.
Yes, yep. They're getting ready for this Netflix era to drop on us. That's what they're doing. This whole thing we're seeing, they're just getting ready for Netflix. They're about to really change it up. On my page, I actually shared The Rock uncut when he beat down Cody, and there was a reason for that. Like we said, me and you talked about, there was a reason for that. They were teasing people because that's what's coming on Netflix. That uncensored, in your face, because the majority of fans are older fans, and we need to get back to that.
But we got our little ones too. Go ahead, bro.
My daughter's favorite wrestler, Jey Uso.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet. Yeet. Hey, Jey Uso. I was mad yesterday. He lost his belt. How you feel about that?
Speak up. Yeah, how you feel about that? You don't have no words.
Look. I seen it coming a mile away after SmackDown because when he was telling everybody he wasn't no yeet and the belt meant more to him, I'm like, he's losing his belt. And then when they set up the match, I said he's wrestling Braun Baker. I said he's losing this belt tonight, and I put it. I'm like, he's losing, and he lost it. I'm like, he needed something. I didn't think he would lose it tonight. I didn't think he would lose it last night. I thought he would lose it at Crown Jewel. Right.
I thought they were gonna have him lose it there, but they full fledged. Like
he had to lose it tonight. So now SmackDown's gonna be crazy because that's the Bloodline show is SmackDown. So
yeah, that's true. Facts. So you know about the Bloodline story and everything? You following it?
Yeah.
The Bloodline is crazy.
You've been to how many SmackDowns? Two?
I've been to one and I've been to Raw.
She been to Raw and she been to SmackDown.
Okay, when they come here, yeah.
When they did go to pay-per-view? No.
She didn't everybody hypocrite.
She didn't seen herself on Raw before or SmackDown, one of the two.
It was the first time.
Yeah, she seen herself in the crowd.
That's dope. That's super dope. Okay, so Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite women wrestler?
Naomi.
Okay. You like Naomi? Okay.
That's the one with the ponytail, right? No,
Bianca. Bianca's with the ponytail.
Naomi
comes out with the shoe.
Naomi
comes out with the lit up suit.
Yeah, Naomi is Jey Uso's brother's wife.
Okay, yeah.
So if you ever see her come out, she got like the glowing suit on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. And they just had SummerSlam here, in Cleveland. What was that? A couple months ago?
Yep. We watched that, and I think we watched the one in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that was WrestleMania. Yeah, WrestleMania. We was almost there. We pump faked on that. We should have never pump faked on that because that was a go.
Right.
We pump faked on that. Like, man, should we get these tickets? And we was like, I don't know if we just didn't know, man. But never again will we do that. We're not gonna pump fake on that.
I think SummerSlam is on our agenda for next year. I think that.
Yeah, I mean,
SummerSlam and
WrestleMania is in Vegas.
I know.
That's gonna be crazy. I don't know. Something to think about. I don't know.
It's a much bigger deal now than it used to be.
Yeah, it is, bro. It really is, bro. Like you have to plan for this stuff.
Big venues for this stuff. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. It is, man. That's what's up. What about you? Got a favorite tag team?
I don't know.
Don't Jey Uso and his brother wrestle together sometime?
Like a year ago.
Yeah, they haven't in a while, bro. They broke up.
Oh man. So, pretty sure favorite by default if they were still together, but they not together no more.
Facts. Okay. So this next art piece of yours, you know what I'm saying, that we getting from you is entitled Triple Gold, right?
Yeah.
The autobiography of Bryan Alford.
Yeah.
What's the story behind this project, bro? What direction, or did you go through something that kind of made you go into this
Um, kind of wanted to make sure I had an album called Dayton Daily News that I did in like 2000, maybe 9 or 10. My little brother always tell me I never make an album better than that.
Bro, that hey. Still today, bro. It's on my playlist, dog.
Thanks, bro. I had to make sure I put it out on the streaming platforms for people that still do listen to it because they deleted that PIF. That's the only place uploaded on.
Mm-hmm.
My little brother always tell me I never make an album better than that. So I was working on this album for 3 years actually. While I was putting out other music, I was stashing songs to the side for this, and I just made sure I did like some of my most vulnerable, transparent stuff, like really just getting into the whys of how I am nowadays in an autobiographical type of way. It's kind of just like just a story of me, like the things that make me me, you know, the good, the bad, the past, the present, and even into the future. Like it's just a culmination of just everything that I experienced and dreamed that made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that I did something that was, like I said, that top Dayton Daily News, and the name Triple Gold ties into the brand of the outspoken and everything like that with the spoke. So I just look at Triple Gold as like a mentality, like a fully formed version of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really what it is. Just really celebrating myself and acknowledging my wrongdoings to try to get to a higher level of myself, if that makes sense.
Where my favorite song that you ever made, bro, is Changes.
Yeah.
I feel like that when you made that project, bro, like you gave so much of yourself on there, dog.
And I had to get back to that with that. Like that's what this is, like them vulnerable moments like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just being see-through for people to really just bare my soul for them, artistic.
Word. So when you in the lab, so you said it's about 3 years in the making. Is it a double CD or no?
It's kind of like a triple. It's
okay.
30 songs on the album, actually, for real.
How many?
30.
Word.
I know that kind of sounds overbearing.
Nah, bro. You know when you listen, back in the day, we used to do 3 verses.
Yeah.
And they don't even do that no more.
The not doing 3 verses kind of shortens the songs, so it makes it a little bit more easier to make it through those 30 without realizing it's actually 30 songs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like we from the time where, you know, it took a lot more to kind of get your full point across on one record. And nowadays, you know, you can make one record that's just a hook, a verse, and a hook. So topic in that little short time and still need to get some more things out. So I wanted to make it 24 songs for 24 karat. But I did 20, like I had a little bit more to do. So what I did with the 24th song is I actually made that the title song Triple Gold, which is like 24 karat is the highest quality gold they got. So it kind of worked out all in the same breath of trying to make it a triple album, but making it one, and things kind of fell in place with the song being the title song for the 24th song. And it just
So you gonna release the 24 first and then do a deluxe and put the rest on there?
Nah,
okay.
It's all in all, bro. Like I don't know. I don't really I don't plan on doing a deluxe because there's so many songs on this one. I just wanted to make sure I got everything out that I needed to get out on the first try. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Word. First time I ever heard you rap, bro, was we was at a party. I think remember Time Bomb? Bomb Records.
Yeah.
I can't remember where that party was, bro. But you was on a song called Every Time They See Me.
That's crazy. That's super early.
Yeah, bro. That was the first time I ever heard you rap. And at that time I was like, hey, this nigga raw.
That was actually supposed to be the song that I did my first video to. The producer of that beat actually sold the beat to somebody else. And it kind of made me just have to change the song, which kind of worked out in my favor because I ended up winning an Ohio Hip Hop Award off that video from changing the song. So it's kind of even that's something that go with Triple Gold. Like it's not really any mistakes in the way things go. It's gonna make you however you need to be, no matter how it end up turning out. So you got to appreciate the good and the bad, and that was one of them things that worked out in the better from it going wrong. So it's cool.
No doubt. Now I heard. Now tell me if this is true, bro. Because I heard I heard you was a hooper.
Who told you that?
I think it was Ernest, bro. Back he said in high school you was a hooper.
Nah, I wish I was. I wanted to be one. That was my dream before I was a rapper, for real. I tried out for the 8th grade basketball team at Fairview. I got cut. I tried out for Dayton Metro, I think, in the 10th grade and got cut. And from then on, when I heard Jay-Z Blueprint 1 when I was in the 9th grade, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I just loved Michael Jordan so much that I still had a little bit hoop dream left over. So I was trying to figure out how I could make that into something I was good at. But it just wasn't in the cards for me, for real. I love the sport. I love the game. I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? Just like me and her. We both love wrestling. I don't wrestle, though. So
Facts.
Plays around it. You know what I'm saying?
And I talked about this last week, or I did some stupid stuff, bro. Like I used to do the backyard wrestling.
Oh.
Coming up. Yeah, bro.
You're really into it.
Yeah, hey. My dude, like he took a DDT on an acorn, bro.
No.
And didn't get up. I thought he was, like faking.
A concussion.
Nah. He wasn't faking, bro.
Damn.
He went to the hospital.
Nah, that ain't it.
After that, I was like, yeah, I'll just watch it.
You got to know how to actually. It's a skill in even faking it.
That's why I said either he hurt or he's selling the hell out of this right now.
Yeah, because they ain't buying it. He got to
go. Hey, facts, bro. Like no lie. So you got a lot of stuff going on, bro. Talk a little bit about your clothing line.
I started Outspoken in like 2020. It originally started by me doing a EP called Outspoken, and I found the vector logo of the Dayton Spoke online, and I wanted to do some kind of merch with it. And the merch was originally just merch that went with the project that I did called Outspoken, which is why I had Outspoken across the back of the hat. But it eventually turned into the clothing line. I did I don't know, man. I've done so many different styles and designs of hats. I've actually did a collab with Dayton Public Schools. They got some hats that I've done for them for sale at Welcome Stadium right now.
That's fire.
Thanks, man. I like hats. I've been wearing hats since I was like in the 7th grade. Like I told my grandma I wanted a fitted hat in the 7th grade, and we got to the to the Foot Locker, and she seen it cost $40, and she didn't. He didn't understand at her age, like, why would a hat cost $40? Like, what kind of hat is this? So, I mean, she still bought it for me anyway, but that was just my original love for hats, just buying fitteds in the 7th grade and taking that all the way through high school and getting so many hats taken from me by Miss Carson at Meadowdale. About what, me getting my hat taken? Who told you that?
Mom.
Oh. Yeah.
No rebuttal.
I would steal the hats that they took from other kids. I'll take them home myself. But yeah, I'm just a hat person, man. I'm like I say, I like hats. I love fashion. My dad got me into fashion when I was real young. So clothing and hats is just something that's just synonymous with me. I didn't really, they say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So this don't feel like work for me. This don't feel like it's just fun. Like I like bringing this shit to life. I like creating things that people can actually wear and use to rep where they from. I feel like I went to Ohio State. I was in Ohio State Young Scholars when I was in the 9th, 10th grade, and I stayed on their campus with Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, different people from different cities, and they will all have hats that represent where they came from, and we didn't have one. So like, it's crazy that I'm filling the void from the past back then now with giving people this sense of pride. Whenever they go out of town, they make sure they get hats to wear when they go to Miami and California and different places like that. So it's a passion project for me. I just like it. I like to do it. It's not really about the money, even though the money comes with it. It's just something I like to do. You know what I'm saying?
Word. What's your thoughts on music today? Like as far as like you've always stayed doing you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always say like we got a lot of talent in our city, but like nobody really made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I got a different outlook on what made it is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of great basketball players are great basketball players, even though they didn't win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you kind of got to reevaluate and look at things from your perspective of what made it or successful or great is. And it's just some things I feel like I've accomplished a lot of the things that I set out to do. It's just not necessarily looked at as an industrial level success. Like, I haven't made it mainstream or nothing like that, but it's like, I feel like I've done what I set out to do with my life. Like, my dream was to be a rapper. It wasn't really to be a successful rapper. I didn't know what that was when I started this dream. So actually to be able to manifest, creating and culminating music and people actually listening to it and knowing the words and stuff like that, that was like my original manifestation. So it's like, to me, I made it.
Word.
Pivoting into something like fashion, like that's what rappers do when they make it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really tell me too much about my shortcomings because I kind of redeemed myself in pivoting to something else. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt. I wanted to ask you a question about Fuck the Rap Game.
Uh-huh.
So, like your little brother said, you'll never make something that top Dayton Daily News.
Yeah.
From Fuck the Rap Game to now, like, what mindset did you have when you made Fuck the Rap Game? And did you bring some of that onto Triple Gold or no?
I feel like the mentality that I had when I did Fuck the Rap Game, it freed me up enough to make this.
Mm-hmm.
I was making Fuck the Rap Game. It was kind of like I was listening to a lot of people that was kind of symbolic of the phrase, like Sauce Walker, Filthy Rich, Money Man, Babyface Ray, Peasy, like different people that was independent, that was kind of standing on the fact that the mainstream don't validate me. You feel me? So Fuck the was really like me going away from trying to cater to what the industry would like for me to do, and more so focusing in on what I want to do, like what's dope to me, not chasing the BPM of what the radio is playing right now, or not chasing the content that's going viral right now. Like, a lot of people lose themselves in trying to appeal to the masses. And I felt, chasing the clout or the acceptance of the rap game, that's what the masses is. Like, it's, you trying to appeal to people that could make you more successful in your own right. But if you feel successful in your own right, you don't got to appeal to that. So that was me with that. With this album, it's more so like, now that I know I don't have to appeal to that, I could tell you about my real self.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Not care about what anybody feel. Yeah.
Exactly.
No doubt, bro. We get 9:53. We good. Yeah. So if you had to, you said so. Jay-Z, your favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Or that's just Blueprint just your favorite rapper, or Blueprint just your favorite album?
He's the greatest rapper of all time to me. Like I said, when I first heard Blueprint 1,
yeah,
I didn't know you could be as good as Michael Jordan as something else.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, it was like, man, I could do this. Like, maybe I'm a smart person. Like, I got a scholarship to Ohio State when I was in the 6th grade, and music is just words as far as rap goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm, literary skilled enough to be able to do something like this. And he made me really see and understand that. So yeah, that's why I put him at the top.
No doubt. Yeah, Blueprint probably one of my top 5 albums of all time.
I think Blueprint is one of the greatest albums of all time of any genre.
Yeah, I'm the same. And then when people say that he got cleaned up on Renegade, they didn't listen to what he said on there.
It just was the shock value of Eminem. Eminem is pure shock value. Jay-Z shock value. He'll tell you that you can't rap better.
Cerebral.
Yeah.
You gotta really get in. Pause. Like, you gotta really just process what he's saying. You feel me?
No doubt. Yeah, Eminem's super cerebral, like you said, Sinista1.
Mm-hmm.
Who your favorite rapper all time?
Jay-Z. I'm kind of like emotional with rap. Like, I don't, depending on how I feel, it's who's like what I'm focused on right now.
Yeah.
For a long time, Young Dro was my favorite rapper.
Word.
Yeah, like Young Dro was like, Young Dro and Cassidy. Cassidy was a big influence on me too. It's like the Metaphor era was like big on that. I was big on Cassidy. It's crazy because like my tone of voice kind of sounded like him a little bit, and that kind of like got me compared to him a lot. But it was just really, I liked his lyricism. Like I like Fabulous. I like Cassidy.
I'm about to say Fab was like,
yeah,
Fab, one of my favorite rappers. I kind of heard you in Fab, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
These is the people that was like showing me how to rap through just being a fan of their music. You know what I'm saying? So like Fab, I fuck with Dipset. Like it was just and Squad Up Lil Wayne. Like Squad Up Lil Wayne kind of like definitely took my perspective to another level. It's just the time I grew up in. Like, you know, that
Squad Up Lil Wayne was different, by the way.
Yeah, that 2001, 2002 to like 2006, 7, that made me who I am.
Word.
It made me.
Word. Couple more questions, man. Question for the little one. Jimmy Uso is back. Are you happy about it? How you feel?
I feel I don't know how to describe it. It's great.
You glad he came back? Because I'm glad he came back finally. I mean, he was gone for a long time.
That's the brother, right?
Yeah, that's Naomi's husband.
Okay, hold on. Didn't you cry when he left?
Oh, I sure did.
Okay, I'm connecting to bloodline shit, right?
Yeah, bloodline, bro.
That she was hurt about that.
You know what's crazy about the bloodline? It's like you got The Rock, Rikishi, like all of these guys, bro.
Yeah,
like they running wrestling right now.
Bloodline is crazy. That bloodline, truthfully, is craziness. And when you watch that Rock, the Young Rock show, and see how deep that family goes back to all the way back to Chief Peter Maivia, you know that was the start of it.
They don't know Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, we're going way back, you know, and then Rocky Johnson comes in.
Curly hair and the white.
You know, it's crazy.
Facts.
Yeah,
it's craziness, you know, and I thought it was a good promo shoot the other night on SmackDown. Jay was just priceless when he said there's a reason why we didn't bring them in. And then he says, and if you keep staring at me, I'm going to knock you out. I was like, oh.
Yeah, he said that to Jacob,
right. Yeah, because Jacob Fatu was
staring at me, I'm going to knock you out.
That was some real stuff right there. You know, as a brother, you feel that. You know exactly the heat he was feeling. You know how you be sometimes in the situation, you know, you just got to let a dude know.
If you're around somebody that keep looking at you and you ain't even talking to them. Yeah. Like, bro, why he keep staring at me, though? Like, why him?
Y'all gotta understand, we got the Fire Stick in our house. I gotta make sure that the bill is paid so she can watch her SmackDown every Monday night.
Yeah.
She's not gonna have a good Tuesday morning. So
hey, I'm Fire Stick Shouty, so I understand.
Yeah.
For sure. Last question I want to ask you, bro. I asked you before, but I want to ask you again. If you could tell 18-year-old Flam something, what would you say to him today?
You could be so much more than a rapper. On my album, man, I this is a quote that I stand on. I say I put off being a man to be a rapper for a long time. It's so much more things to be. Like from me making beats to recording myself to mixing my own songs to designing my own clothes to designing hats to doing school supply giveaways to events where artists can perform. Like other than rapping, a lot of this shit I'm doing now, I couldn't see me doing it because I was so stuck on trying to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had a scholarship to Ohio State in the 6th grade, I'm pretty sure that I was smart enough to do a lot more stuff than try to be a rapper.
Thanks.
But as a kid that, you know, my dad was a very street savvy guy and he did things that made me kind of idolize the wrong stuff. I feel like being a rapper was the safest way for me to be like my dad without going to jail. So that was really where my whole concept of idolizing him is I could be like you legally. But it's more ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have been a doctor, a lawyer. I could have been anything. It's just I didn't apply myself to nothing else but this. So that's really what I would tell myself. Just try something else. That's what I tell her a lot of times. Just try stuff. Try to draw. Try to paint. Try to sing. Try to play an instrument. Just try stuff. You never know what you could do.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, bro. I want to thank you, man, for coming on, bro. Man, you know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you, man. I done seen you grow up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you, bro.
For sure.
Patients about mental health and like it's been a rough road for me, for real. Like it wasn't always as calm and figured out as it is now. It's not the most figured out and calm right now. It's just it was on me. You could see that I don't really know which way I'm going. So I appreciate all them times you tapping in with me, man, and offering me to come on platforms and share my story. I wasn't always ready to be as transparent as I'm being right now, but you always did offer that chance to me. So I want to thank you for that, man, and thank you for having us on tonight for sure.
For sure, man. I appreciate you, man. Yo, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with Pro Wrestling Super Show CEO Ryan Drew. Turnbuckles and Spilled Liquor.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Now, our next guest for tonight's show on Turnbuckles and Spilled Liquor is none other than Pro Wrestling Super Show CEO Ryan Drew. What's going on, Ryan? How you doing tonight?
What's going on, Kevin? How are you?
Good, man.
Nice.
Everything is great. You know, talking wrestling and other stuff.
All right. Well, I know about wrestling. I don't know about
And like, you know, you pointed out, I do have a problem. behind me. It's it's a small problem, but it is a problem. I mean, I'll try to move so you can see it's it's a lot.
Yeah, it's not a bad problem to have.
It's a lot going on back there.
Yeah.
Do you collect figures at all?
I don't. I sell the figures.
Oh, nice. What you got?
I got all of it. All of it. Catch me when you can, though.
Yeah. Are you selling them on Whatnot or?
No, I sell them at shows.
Oh, you sell them at shows.
Yep. Yep.
Nice. We might have to talk about.
Yep.
You say you got all of them.
Well, depending, because you sell them at shows, and then people steal them too. So every time I do inventory, I go, oh, something's gone missing.
We talking about loose, or you got like box? You got
no, I got box. I got box. I haven't done the loose yet.
Okay.
I was thinking about doing them, but right now it's just box. I used to rent out the table at the wrestling shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then about a year ago, I said, let me get into the merch game a little. So I dip my toes in just T-shirts and toys right now, but we'll see where it goes.
Nice. You ringside collectible guy, or you go toy hunting?
A little mix of both.
Yeah.
You can see it. I've banged my head a million times, so sometimes my words come out garbled. But I get them where I can. It's all about the price,
Yeah, I toy hunt, early Saturday mornings. A lot of times, Walmart.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough for toy collectors at Walmart these days.
Oh yeah. You don't get anything at Walmart.
It's tough now. Target was terrible, and then they came with the last 4 wrestlers. They had the Hogan, the Legends.
Oh really?
When they're releasing those, they release Legends Hogan. I got him up there. Where he's
all right.
Right there.
Yep.
And then there's Jey Uso.
Yep.
That's the Ultimate Edition. If I go up, Kane. He's right there.
Yep.
Ultimate Edition. I got some stuff over there. Kurt Angle right next to him.
Now with your loose figures, do you keep the boxes to the side?
I do.
Yeah.
Keep the boxes. If I were to ever lose the boxes, I have enough bubble wrap that I could wrap this whole room.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I got this big thing of bubble wrap. I can wrap the whole thing up multiple times and put them in, whatever I need to pack them in.
Right. Yeah.
And I keep everything.
Yeah.
The hands, the everything, all the accessories.
Yeah. Yep.
I keep all of that stuff. So that's dope. So you said you don't really toy hunt that much. So do you have you got a Connect?
No, usually it's just Ringside Collectibles, okay. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, yard sales, anywhere I can find something, where I can. Getting into it, if it's possible, I guess in the future we'll see. But to have to go through getting a reseller's license and keeping track of it's just not worth it right now.
You can go on Whatnot right now and sell all your figures.
Yeah.
You don't even need a reseller's license.
Yeah. Well, it's usually if you want to buy them in bulk from, say, Mattel or something like that, you do need your reseller's license and
Whatnot. I just mentioned you, so you see this. I'm just saying. We need promoters. We need, you know what I'm saying? We need some ads or something. I mean, something. KJ the collector on Whatnot, by the way.
Yeah.
Got to find those sponsors.
Yeah. We mentioned them a few times. And Ringside. Hey, Ringside.
Yeah. We gotta mention
toys.
We got to mention the indie flyers that we have, rotating during the breaks and before the show during our countdown. We got to mention that, we got to show the love to the indie promotions, because without the indie promotions, we wouldn't have some of these top star wrestlers that we see today that are coming through. And like I said, right now, we talked last week on the show about how many guys and women have come out of this New England area, and Ryan can attest to it. He had a guy like Teddy Goods who made it to SmackDown. He had Chuck O'Neal, who was in UFC, was fighting. I'll let him talk about it. He knows. He's been doing this,
Yeah, I mean the independents are where it's at. A large it's different now. It used to be that's where everybody came from, was the independents or the territories way back then. Now, because they've got the PC down in Orlando, you know, they can get go hunting for like college sports, things like that. But I'd say the vast majority still comes from the indies. Depending on who you talk to down at the PC, sometimes they're not going in that direction anymore because you can build a lot of bad habits on the independents, so it's easier to start from scratch. But I'd say, you know, right now there's still, we've got, like, when they come to town, let's say the Northeast area, anywhere from Pennsylvania, New York up to Maine, they'll still grab, you know, a handful of guys. A lot of the guys I use too, to do extra work, and hopefully if they're lucky, they get to do some stuff in the ring. And that's how you get known, you know, and that's how, like, Teddy, you mentioned Teddy Goods. He was somebody that for years would just go and do extra work, and maybe on occasion he would get some screen time doing like security or being in the background of a promo or something. And then that led, you know, he was there for years, and that led to him having a match or two on live television. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when you
It's
say they
great
get
stuff.
pulled for extra stuff, you said so they can get pulled to be security or
yeah, so the way it works, the majority of the time, I'm not privy to how it goes all the time, but local wrestlers, it's funny how close and how far you actually are when you're on the indies. It's, I mean, really, if you're a good wrestler on the indies, because there's some bad wrestlers out there too, it's really just kind of an email away. Send an email, you do your resume, they look at your stuff, and then they decide, well, is this guy worth coming in? Is this guy reputable? So really, you know, it can be as simple as an email. That being said, the difference between being a guy that's, you know, a security guard for the night compared to a guy that's making 6 or 7 figures and headlining WrestleMania, now that's a big stretch. So it's closer than it seems, but it's a lot further than it seems as well.
Nice. Now, do they so do, like, say for instance, if one of the indie guys, they get the email that they want to get, are they at that point being invited to come down to Orlando?
No. So the way it works is, right now, and again, I'm sure there's a couple of other ways that it works as well. It's all in networking and who you know. If a guy on the indies makes a big splash and gets well known on social media and things like that, they might reach out to that person. However, most of the time, for the majority of people, they're reaching out to WWE. And the WWE does have a process to recruit talent, indie talent specifically. And then you go through that process, and then you just start asking around for emails. You know, you get an email from one guy that went before you, or one of their scouts is doing a seminar in the area, and you go there. Like, it's all networking, but you reach out first, and sometimes you can reach out a dozen times before you hear back, and you may never hear back depending on, you know, your qualities.
Yeah.
As an example, like, so I used to run a school down in Fall River that had a nice reputation. It was around for 30 years. I was the trainer there for a long time. It was started by Spike Dudley from the Dudley Boys. He was my trainer one of my trainers when I started. So it had a reputation already. So in the last year, there's a kid that he's 18, 19 now, DJ Powers, that I've been training. And because he's got the reputation behind him, he's already a step further than anybody who kind of comes from a school that doesn't have a reputation, you know. And he's got people speaking up for him and saying, no, this guy's the real deal, or he's got a lot of potential, or whatever it is. A lot of guys on the indies don't have that. And it's like starting from scratch, and it can be very difficult, very, very difficult. So there's a couple of different ways of getting in there, I guess. But
You know what's so crazy? You mentioned Spike Dudley.
Yep.
I was doing some research on Instagram, and there's a lot of indie wrestlers that were trained by him.
Yeah. So the way it worked was Spike was the name trainer. That he's the one that started the school back in 2005, and he was there full time till about 2008. And then in 2008, I was his assistant. So it was kind of split. And then Spike left, I want to say in 2011, 2012. He would still come in every now and then. But I would always tell the students, just tell them Spike trained you. Just tell them Spike trained you, because nobody knows who Ryan Drew is. Nobody knows who Ryan Waters is, right? So you use the name that's going to get your foot in the door.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we did. So a lot of times, anybody that's putting their names, using Spike Dudley's name, except for Teddy Goods, because I didn't train Teddy Goods. He was in my class. We came up together. They were trained by me as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And not to pat myself on the back, but I did the vast majority of the training.
So you was out there.
I'm the one there twice or three times a week. Spike was there, couple times a month.
With all your time that you've had, who stuck out the most to you as being one of the most talented? Somebody that just came in and had natural raw talent. Like the first time you saw him was like, wow, this person's going to be a problem.
That would be Matt Taven. Okay. Matt he's part of the Kingdom in AEW. Yeah, with Mike Bennett. He was former Ring of Honor champion. He won the title in a ladder match at Madison Square Garden in 2019. But he was somebody that actually I found him, or I saw him at not a great independent wrestling show in Fairhaven at a VFW, and he had come out and he just kind of he stuck out. I was like, what is this guy doing here? Not that what I was doing at the other VFW was that much better, but he certainly didn't belong where he was. So I was just trying to help facilitate him to fulfill, I guess, what his dream was. So I got him to come to my school, and then I pushed him off to other guys that could help him further his career. And it took him a few years, but he got to, and he had a contract at one point with WWE, and it didn't follow through for some reason. I'm not sure what it was. It might have been a money thing. But he's since I want to say 2012, he's had a contract with a national TV company, whether it be Ring of Honor or AEW. So
nice.
Yeah.
Matt Taven.
Yeah, Matt Taven.
Yeah. So do you prefer so do you watch, because I know like a lot of indie, they don't really like watching WWE and AEW. Do you watch?
I do and I don't. The problem is I'm a cord cutter, so I don't have cable. Mm-hmm. So with like Raw or SmackDown, I just don't really go out of my way to watch it. If I hear that there's a good match or something like that happened, I'll try to look it up on YouTube or Daily Motion or one of those things. Catch it on Peacock or Hulu or something. But most of the time, the wrestling I watch, I'm not a wrestling snob. I watch a lot of different wrestling, but I probably don't catch it in real time, But I always watch, or I should say, I always try to watch the pay-per-views, and definitely the big pay-per-views, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I'll try to catch those live if I can, because they play on Peacock.
So my question to you is being a guy in wrestling, so have you been able to see Dark Side of the Ring yet?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
Your thoughts? Because it's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen about professional wrestling.
Facts.
Well, yes, I think that just like anything on television, even documentaries, they're always going to provide you with their tantalizing slant. Sometimes the story, they present the story in a juicier fashion, or they leave out details they know they can leave out to have a juicier story. I do think the initial Dark Side of the Ring, they were pretty good. But I said this actually the other day at work, is that I think documentaries in general, like the Vince McMahon documentary that I was watching on Netflix, and it's just so it's so wrestling. It's fake, you know. It's bullshit. If I can say that, it just and even Vince McMahon coming out the day before, 2 days before, and putting out that email or that press release that said, "Don't watch this. This is what is a ploy to get people to watch it, to build interest."
Mm-hmm.
It was a marketing ploy, I mean, you watch.
He still gets paid. He still gets paid.
It's just
don't watch it, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm watching it."
Yeah, of course. Reverse psychology. So,
yeah.
I think with the Dark Side of the Ring, I definitely liked a few of them. Some of them I think is just it's reaching, and some of it's like you don't get the full story or the meat of it,
Mm.
Yeah, that first season was really, really in your face, raw. I really read into the Chris Benoit episode. I thought they really hinted at something in that episode about him and Eddie Guerrero that I don't think a lot of people caught about the two of them, but I think they really went there and did it the right way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to go back and just watch the episode, but there's a little something there that they did say. And it's one of the things that we kind of knew about because there was a reason why WCW shipped that great talent like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit and certain other ones up here to the Northeast, and they didn't want them down south. So if you know that history of that, I don't have to say anymore. I don't want to ruin it for people, but you definitely have to watch. But
it's been out long enough.
Yeah,
you gotta give some spoilers on that.
So when you watch this episode, and at the end of the day, Vince McMahon was so hated by the Southern promoters because he took wrestling to a place that they didn't want it. Because the Southern promoters were making all of this money, but keeping it and screwing the wrestlers over. And they hated Vince McMahon bringing the glitz and the glamour. And then finally he got national TV contracts. They hated him. And there's rumors out there that there was actually a hit that they wanted to put a hit out on him and take him out. When you watch this episode about Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, they let you know that in this episode that they were bisexual. They were also lovers. And they did it in a very nice, professional way to where I was like, wow, I got it. I get it. And they talked about how Vince McMahon allowed them to celebrate as themselves when Chris Benoit and Eddie, you have to watch it and see because the way they explain it and they let you know that these guys,
they were lovers.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to rewatch that because I didn't get that.
You have to rewatch it. Yeah, rewatch it. Read between the lines. There's an interview in that episode with somebody who talks about when Chris Benoit was at Eddie Guerrero's wedding. There's a whole thing there that they really focus on. And somebody says that. Even somebody who knew Chris Benoit says this was... And you have to go back and watch it. And when you're done with that, you're going to be like, holy crap. And when you go back to WCW, the rumors were is that you didn't get pushed in WCW if you were gay behind the scenes. And those guys were never pushed, but they were great wrestlers. Eddie Guerrero was one of those great wrestlers in WCW, never pushed. Dean Malenko is like one of my top 20 wrestlers of all time, and he never got a push in WCW, and then he didn't catch
Dean
on.
Malenko was gay too?
So that's the rumors, is that Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Benoit, these guys were all either bisexual or they were
Eddie
gay.
up there too.
So
wow.
Yeah,
Well,
very interesting story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're dropping some knowledge on me tonight because I never heard that ever.
Go back and watch that episode. I
will.
Yeah, when you watch it, they did it, and I love the way they did it because I'm like, they need an Emmy. I'm like, because they're letting us know right here the truth about the two of them. And they were super close, but then when they explain it, I'm like, wow. And I called somebody, I'm like, did you watch that episode? They're like, yeah. I was like, what'd you get from that episode? was like, oh, Chris Benoit was this. I'm like, no. I said, did you get the other stuff that they were talking about? And then he's like, nah. And I said, go back and watch it. And they went back and watched it, and they called me back, and I was like, bro, I didn't catch that. And I'm like, bro.
Yo, that's.
Were you going to the wrestling shows back in 2000 when Eddie Guerrero was at Brockton High?
Yes.
Did you catch that show?
Yep, and I used to cover ECW way back also. Brockton High used to have some good wrestling shows at Brockton High back in the day.
Right,
Used to have some good talent come through. And again, that's when we talk about Killer Kowalski bringing some great wrestlers through this area.
Well, I started with Killer Kowalski, actually. He was my very first trainer.
Damn.
Yeah, back in 2002, his school, he wasn't running his school anymore. The guy that used to run the high school after Kowalski, this is in early 2000, his name was Mike Sparta. He would have Kowalski come in to all his shows, and he would train the guys. And so I actually got my start with Killer Kowalski. But when Eddie Guerrero had come in to Brockton that weekend, I got to train with Eddie Guerrero, which was pretty cool.
Nice. What was Killer like? Because I heard Killer was no nonsense. It was like being,
No, by the time I met him, he was in his 80s.
Okay. All right.
So I really couldn't understand much of what he said. It was kind of garbled, but his right-hand man, Tony Roy, he's the guy that trained Triple H. He was, again, Kowalski was the name, and then the guy, there's trainers that work under him. So it was still the same guy, and he understood what Kowalski was saying. He knew him so well. I didn't know him very well, and I only spent like 6 months with him until I went down to Spike School down in Fall River. But I did get to wrestle Killer Kowalski in 2006. He was doing a lot of shows for us, and somebody just asked him, do you want to get in the ring and wrestle? And he's, yeah. He's whatever he said. He garbled yes. And me and Teddy Goods actually got to bump around for him in the ring. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Wow,
Nice.
Good stuff. Wow, we have 2 minutes, man.
Yeah.
We still got topics to talk. And promote his event. He's got his event coming up in Friday night.
Yeah. Friday night, Brockton.
Yeah, talk about your event coming up.
Yeah, it's just another event at the Brockton VFW, Halloween themed. A lot of the local guys. Again, this is where you get started. We've got a few guys on the show that, we got this kid DJ. He's done extra work for the WWE and AEW a couple of times. He's only 19 from Bridgewater, but he's coming along really well. We got this other guy, Brett BRG. He works for MLW, Major League Wrestling. He's actually doing like a 4 horseman gimmick now with Arn Anderson's son. I don't remember his first name. But it's Arn Anderson's son, and C.W. Anderson, I think he was in ECW.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be there. We just did a show in Bridgewater with like Tony Atlas, Fandango, things like that. But it's, we'll be there this Friday. Fun show, cheap. I just went to a haunted house last weekend. It's unbelievable how much it costs to go to a haunted house. Jesus, $20 for a wrestling ticket. Come here for 2.5 hours. I swear it's like $200 just, between 6 people to get in. It was nuts.
You pack them in, too. That VFW is packed. I've been there several times, and there's not an empty seat left.
We try. We tried. This week, I think it's going to be kind of light, just from the pre-sale looking at it. But that's okay. You can't have a sellout each and every time.
It's a tough weekend because we're still at homecoming weekends for all the schools.
Yeah.
So you're going up against that. The homecoming weekends are all to close out October. So it is kind of tough.
I don't get worried about it. Like I said, it comes and goes. It's like the tide. It comes in, it comes out. As long as the people that go there have a good time, the wrestlers have a good time, everybody makes a little money, everybody goes home happy, I'm fine with that, All
right, cool. I'll let my man get back to the topics.
Nice. Yeah, let's hit a few topics real quick. In AEW, Sting, he got a multi-year licensing deal. I'm not really happy about that, just for figure purposes, because Jazzwares makes his figures, and I think Mattel makes better ones of him. That's just my 2 cents on it. Jazzware, I like Jazzwares, but they just don't make a good Sting figure, in my opinion. I'm not happy about it. Sinista1, what you think about that deal that he signed?
I think he also signed to keep that licensing for that Sting name, because I think what we talked about last week, I think Darby Allin is gonna take that over, and Sting's gonna get some money off of that.
Yeah, the Crow.
Yep. Which is surprising that he can do that, but
yeah, we think that Darby Allin's gonna disappear for a little bit and come back as the Crow and win the title from Mox.
Well, that's an interesting theory.
If that happens, we need to be
right.
We need to contact AEW. Like we said this first. Battle of the Belts drew lowest viewership in series history.
Only 300,000 tuned in.
I mean, I don't even have nothing to say about that.
It's tough when you're coming off the bigger match that happened with Mox and Bryan Danielson. It's tough to follow up after that Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
Mox
of course. That's
wrestle, so
yeah.
Was that on television or was that a pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view when Mox beat Bryan Danielson.
Gotcha.
He retired him. So
Oh,
was it a Wrestle Dream, wasn't it? Wrestle Dream.
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. WWE next week, NXT, they're taping at ECW Arena. I'm not missing that.
Nope.
That's gonna be crazy.
You think they bring Heyman out?
They have to.
Oh yeah.
That's when he's coming back. That's when we're gonna see him again. He's coming back then. And they may not bring him out but he's gonna make an appearance. I guarantee he's gonna be in some type of promo where he just shows up.
Yeah.
Best Hall of Fame speech ever.
Period.
Best Hall of Fame speech ever.
It's not close.
He killed it. It.
It's not close. In sad news, Samantha Irvin announces her departure from WWE. And then they announced Lillian Garcia.
I
back.
know. Yo, that was like a big FU. Like I was like, damn. I was like, WWE really did that, because everybody's talk was like, Samantha Irvin's leaving WWE. Everybody's on social media. Raw come out.
Everybody sad.
And the first thing WWE says, welcoming back to WWE, Lillian Garcia. The whole place like completely forgot about Samantha Irvin. I was like, damn, she must feel real bad right now. Like, I was
what? I think she was pressured to leave though, man. That's that her husband's in AEW. They didn't, WWE didn't use him correctly. And it probably was an issue, behind the scenes, her still working with the rival company.
Right.
AEW is going to bring her in, give her a job. She's going to be announcing them. She's going to be saying,
he's saying no.
Word,
and I'm like, yeah. He's saying no. Ricochet put it out there and said no, but it's eventually going to happen. Yeah, I don't believe it either.
Samantha Irvin, a couple months ago, she had put out a picture. She used to go to indie shows down in New Bedford, and everybody, my Twitter blew up. I'm like, never does that. I guess I was in the picture with a young Samantha Irvin. She used to go to my shows down in New Bedford.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Tag team divisions are going crazy right now in WWE. They're stacking up. Who you like?
So they debuted the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Who was real nice. They still haven't brought in the Lucha team that they signed to a multi-year deal. So this whole thing is about to get stacked. The Vikings are back. They've got a whole new spiel with them.
Yeah.
And then New Day's about to break up. It's coming. New Day.
Yeah.
They're both going singles. Kofi Kingston
It's time anyway for them.
It's time for them to break up. They've been doing this New Day thing forever. It's time to break it up. It's time for them to go singles and put them in the singles. But the tag team division is looking pretty stacked right now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll make they have to, in my opinion, they should bring back more tag titles, like the WCW tag team titles, the ECW tag team titles. I think they need to just incorporate, because they got a lot of tag teams. I mean, just having those 2 or 3 belts, per promotion, I just don't think, one belt pro.
I'll tell you right now, if you in the tag team right now, you won't want to be injured.
You do not, because it's over.
Somebody's leapfrogging you. Because Montez Ford be putting himself out there.
Yeah, he does. I think Montez wants to be a singles guy so bad, man.
He does.
He's tired of doing the, and I get it.
Ryan, real quick, I know we're a little bit over, but Carmelo Hayes, another guy.
Yeah.
Talk about him, because he came up through the ranks kind of. How long was he actually in the Indies for?
Oh, he was on the Indies for years. 6 or 7 years. He started out in this company called Chaotic up on the North Shore, and he wrestled there, I want to say 7 years, because I did wrestle him in 2014 at an outdoor show somewhere, and he was doing a horrible Michael Jackson gimmick. But you saw that he had talent.
We need the pictures.
Oh yeah. He had talent. You could tell he had talent, and I think he's a good example of letting somebody find themselves. He had as he came forward, he stopped doing the Michael Jackson gimmick. He brought out a side to him that was a little more authentic. And you hear this all the time as guys, and the best wrestlers are themselves turned up to 11. That's what they always say. Give me you, turn it up to 11. And I think that's what he did. I mean, he's always been very nice but cool, and he had a nice swagger to him. He's just like, that guy's a cool guy. And now he's on TV, and that's kind of what he's got going for him, So
yeah,
nice guy. I never had any issues with him. Actually, one time he wanted more money from me. And I was like, what's the difference between $25 and $40? Come on. Bust my balls. But, no, he's very nice, and I always liked him. I'm glad to see success coming to him.
Yes.
Yes.
Stuff. Real quick, Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. They went crazy yesterday.
They had Adam Pearce busy. They had Adam Pearce busy as hell.
Yeah. Adam Pearce, he was busy as hell yesterday. That's for sure. It's gonna be a good match. I can't wait to see it. It'll be nice. Bronson Reed. I think
Seth is putting him over.
He is. I believe so. I think they're gonna do the Seth and CM Punk thing. I think Seth and CM Punk is coming.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. Last but not least, the Bloodline cost Jey Uso his Intercontinental belt when he worked so hard to get a singles belt, and they have him drop it on Raw. Yes,
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, yeah. Braun Breaker, who is a hell of an athlete, hell of a wrestler. I mean, he had his dad and his uncle teaching him.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy hits the ropes so hard the ring shakes. I love Braun Breaker, man. I love Jey Uso too. I think he'll get the belt back at a pay-per-view or something. But I think that they're trying to build for War Games, and they don't want him to hold the belt up, while he's doing War Games.
Right. Yep.
Which War Games is going to be so crazy. I mean, they need to have it at a theater or something. They need to have War Games being like that. Pay-per-view needs to be at a theater. If they sold tickets to watch that at a theater right now, I would get one. You can't just watch that at home. I gotta figure something out, bro.
That's that old closed circuit television they used to do before pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And we used to buy the tapes later on. Remember, I used to buy the War Games tapes for $19.99 off TV because you couldn't see it on the closed circuit. And you used to hear about these Southern matches, the scaffold matches and shit like that. And they used to put the tape out like a week after they would put the tape out.
Yeah.
And you buy the tape for $19.99.
Yeah, there was a lot of tape trading back then. I never got into the tape trading, but I heard about how crazy tape trading was between fans.
Crazy stuff.
I can't wait for this to happen. So Survivor Series is what I'm looking forward to. Crown Jewel, cool, but yeah, Survivor Series most definitely. And then right after Survivor Series, start going into Rumble season.
Which is now moved to February,
Yeah, which they moved to February.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's going to be a plan. They got to be planning something big for the Rumble. For them to move it like that. Well, man, this was awesome.
This was really dope. Right before WrestleMania now. That's really,
like a couple months, 2 months, right? Yep. And is it beginning of February? It might be middle of February.
Yeah, it's
right?
the first. No, it's the first. It's like the first week of February. It's after Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna be busy in the beginning of the year. Rumble is right before WrestleMania, and then they got 2 nights. I heard they're doing 2 nights of SummerSlam next year, right?
Yep, 2 nights of SummerSlam now. I think you're gonna see that the norm for the summer because they when they announced 2 nights of WrestleMania, I said this is the most dumbest idea in the history of wrestling. They'll never be able to sell. But then when you heard behind the scenes how many matches get scratched because they can't fit all the matches in one night because things run over and stuff. And when they said that, and I heard them, like, oh, now I know why they did it because I didn't know there was that many matches getting scratched to the point where you were going to lose wrestlers because they were pissed because this was their biggest moment in their lives, and then you scratch a match for time purposes. So I get it now. I know why it's 2 nights, and it's working for them.
Right. Well, Ryan, look, we thank you for coming on, hanging out with us. We went over just a little bit, but this was great. You got to come back, man.
Yeah, anytime. Just let me know.
For sure. Felito, for Sinista1, Ryan, this is Turnbuckles and Spilled Liquor Podcast. Next week, we got Sheldon Goldberg. You don't want to miss that at all. We out.
All right, peace.
In me in vantage points, so I can't abandon joints. Gotta grab the coins, pay me wickedly. Superman of Thor, who am I? Haters mimic me, and they fans cheer him on with their capabilities. Wow, double entendre, crazy lyrically. Had to read a page in Timothy to take you seriously. Cause I ain't scared, I ain't got no fear, baby, get with me. Open doors for the people, you can say it's chivalry. I drop bombs, it'll be a day in infamy. Mainly cause all my ops feeling painful instantly. Stay for sympathy, not me. Create an imagery that everybody you like I made a simile. Facts.